everyone, this is Joanna. Welcome to my channel. If you enjoy DIY on the budget, you are in the right place. My projects are easy and inexpensive to make, and I hope you will love them just as much as I do. And if you do enjoy them, make sure you subscribe. It helps my video to get out to other folks that enjoy inexpensive crafts. With that being said, let's get started on the first project. First DIY, I'm going to use paint sticks, 5 of them from Home Depot. These are the shorter ones. A welcome sign from the Dollar Tree, shims from Home Depot, 9 to be exact, and 2 baskets from the Dollar Tree. Well, let's get started. And for the first DIY, I'm grabbing 2 paint sticks and the shims. And what I'm going to do is I will attach the shims to the 2 paint sticks, creating the frame for the background. And the first one is a very important one because it's really going to create the structure for the entire project. So I'm putting the thick part of the shim on top and the thin one on the bottom. And here you can see the thick part is on top, thin one is on the bottom. And now my next one is going to be going the opposite way. Thin on top, thick on the bottom. And this is how I'm going to continue going, making sure that the top has thick and then thin, thick and thin, and so on and so forth until I get to the very end. And it creates a really nice background. And when I got to the end, I realized that I probably need to take a 1/4 inch off the end. The paint sticks were just a little bit too long, and the same thing goes for my top paint stick as well. So I'm just going to mark it really quickly, the exact spot where I want to cut it, and I just took my handsaw and gave it a quick cut. Okay, I really didn't like that little indentation from the paint stick for the part that is going to be on the very top. So I took some spackle and I tried to fill it in. If you have wood putty, you can do it as well, or you can just leave it be because it may not even bother you. I just wanted to see if I could make it completely smooth. And while that was drying, I just grabbed some plaster color paint and gave it a nice coat. And went over with my umber when it was still burnt umber while it was still wet, and just enhance the little edges that are popping out. And now you can really tell that really awesome dimension that we're getting. And of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't grab a sponge and I started sponging the edges because everything looks better sponged, right? There you have it. It's all nice and dry. I didn't even want to take sanding paper to it. I just took my finger and I rubbed through it. And here are the different choices of colors that I have. I use those samples all the time, and I also put matte finish on half of them just to see how they are going to look. And the color of choice was dark walnut for me. And here you can see me struggling adding stain to all my pieces, but I'm basically covering all the other pieces beside the background, which was white. I'm using the dark walnut on it, and here is my sign. I'm just grabbing some pewter gray and just dabbing all over it. It just adds a really nice antique finish to it. It's not as shiny, it looks very, very pretty. And then you take some umber, burnt umber, and you add it to the edges, and it adds this really awesome rusty look to it. It's funny how we're turning all those brand new pieces and turning them into something that looks old, but it looks fantastic. It really came out very nice. And now it's time to start gluing things together, and I'm starting off with the two baskets. I'll make sure that they line up. Sometimes the sides are not very even, so you need to make sure that you do it right. And I'm going to add one of the popsicle sticks in the back just to hold them in place even better. And now we're going to start putting everything together. The top goes on first on top of the white piece that we painted, so I'm going to take care of that right off the way. And now I decided that I'm going to start, I wanted to see how everything was fitting, and oops, the bottom is a little bit too long, so I had to take pencil, mark the exact spot where I wanted to cut it, and I give it a quick cut. But you could leave it and create some kind of a hanger at the bottom or a little extra shelf, something like that. But I cut it to size, and I'm starting to add my left side of the project on, and we're going to move from left to right. So once the paint stick is in, I'm going to add my baskets. So basically the top is in, the top is already attached to the whiteboard. Then I have my paint stick on the left, the baskets, and now my right side goes in. So you kind of are closing it off. Now it looks fantastic, but I just wanted to make sure that I make it more sturdy. And unfortunately, this is really not a good view, but that's the only view that I have of what I was doing here. I took a couple of pieces of wood and I attached them, or paint sticks. No, these are not the paint sticks, they're the little sticks, the wooden sticks. And I attached them to the bottom part that is connecting the baskets to the white part, to the whiteboard. And I also did the same thing for the top. I attached the whiteboard to the main paint stick on top, and it just created a very strong bond. And now it's just time to add my welcome sign, and I'm not putting it dead in the center because I know I'm going to put plants in them or greenery or something like that. So I want the sign to be just a little bit above halfway mark. Now we are pretty much done. We're just gonna add a piece of string to the back to be able to hang it, but you don't even have to hang it. It's going to be very nice on the shelf just standing up, so whatever you want to do. But I decided to go ahead and add it, and it just looks so beautiful with the greenery. Oh, it just looks stunning. I love the color. I love the way the color came out, and the greens and the welcome sign. Oh, and the sponging, don't forget the sponging. I love it. Okay, so here is my next project, and I am going to use the mop, and I'm going to take it apart. And I wasn't sure how it was really, how those little strands were, but they were just in a 12-inch length. Some, I know that some other ones have them longer, but that's how long these guys were. And I'm grabbing 3 cups of water, and I'm adding alcohol into it. This one is the color is espresso, and I'm basically creating 3 different dyes, a lighter, medium, and dark dye. And you will see as I go, I am going to be adding more color to the cups just to make them really dark on one end, and then medium, and then light. And after I'm done with the colors, I'm happy with them, I'm just putting my little strings inside. And I did leave them for probably 12 hours because I went to work, but you don't have to leave them for that long at all. I think that they are good just after half an hour or an hour, because I have done it during a shorter period of time and it worked great as well. Okay, so they have been sitting for a while. Make sure that you do wear gloves because you're dealing with alcohol and you don't want to get stained. And don't do what I'm doing right here, and I'm just squeezing it out. Well, you squeeze out a lot of the color. So if you really want to see the color very well, do not give it such a hard squeeze. Of course, you don't want to be dripping, but I was able to get nice color here too. What I want, you can see that it was bright white, and now I have those, you know, beige and going into the brown, and this is what I'm after, because I'm going to be wrapping it around a dressing and an empty dressing bottle. And here they are all dry. You can see that they became a little bit lighter, and that's okay. And there is my dressing bottle, and I'm just going to be wrapping them around and kind of designate one side as your back side, because that's where all the cuts and ends are gonna go. So you're not gonna see them in the front. So this is my designated back side right here, and that's where all my ends are going to start and end. And after the dark strand, I'm going into a little bit lighter and then lighter again, and then I'm going to start moving in the darker direction again. So you're going to have that beautiful wave of colors. I think it started coming out really nice. I can totally see it also with different colors, like maybe blues for the bathroom and pinks for Valentine's, different shades of them. But this is, I think, a neutral color. I can leave it out all year round, so it really worked for me. Now in the very top, I'm adding more glue to every round because the shape is changing, and I just want to make sure that this shape is actually staying there. And I also grabbed some wooden beads, and I used burnt umber paint of different shades. I watered some down more than others so that I got, again, different shades of umber, burnt umber, and I'm going to start putting it on my twine in the same kind of pattern where it's darker going to lighter and then lighter going to darker. And I'm going to use all those beads and put them around the top of my vase, and I think it just looks so pretty. And there you have it. I think it just came out fantastic under a quarter. Who would have thought that this is a dressing, a bottle from a dressing? It just came out fabulous. I really love it. And here is a jar I picked up from 99-cent store, and I just love the design. I really thought it was magnificent, and it had a great tight seal, which means that I can put popcorn in there or cookies. So what I did was I spray painted it white, and the top I spray painted it bronze. I like bronze, so now I have my bronze paint, and I don't have acrylic paint, but I have the spray paint, and I decided that I want those little pieces on the glass jar to pop out a little bit more. So what I did was, I'm like, okay, well, I'm desperate. So I sprayed some of the spray paint on plastic, and I'm just dabbing it on cloth, and I'm just making sure that we can see those little designs because they're so beautiful. I'm just so in love with this jar. At first I wanted to add like a cookie sign to it, and then I decided no, I'm not going to do any of that because it's just beautiful as it is, especially when I added the bronze paint to it, or I just dabbed on it. And here you have it. It looks so pretty. It's just barely there, but it looks just beautiful, and you can See all the detail. I'm glad I left the cookie sign out because now I can put different things in it. And I got another jar just like that, and I spray painted it in bronze, and I'm keeping my wooden spoons in them. It looks so amazing, doesn't it? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this project and all the other projects that I have just shown you guys. I pour my heart into them when I make them, and I'm so happy that I get to share them with you. And if you do like them, make sure you subscribe. It helps my YouTube videos to go out there to people that enjoy DIYs on the budget. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ta!